September 26th press release in quite frankly, any normal gold market would have seen our share price skyrocket. Anytime you get an intercept that's greater than 100 grams per ton per meter, so whether it's 50 of 2 or 100 of 1 or 90 of 1.1, anything that adds up to greater than 100 grams per ton meter is effectively a world-class hit or discovery. And what the market is missing, or I believe is missing or misinterpreting on this last press release is not only were these intercepts, in the 160 to 200 gram per ton intersection intervals, but they're in a brand new zone. We actually think we may have a brand new discovery sitting outside of the Newman Todd zone in the hanging wall, which will take the 2 million non-43 101 ounces we have and likely take them up to 2.3, 2.4, maybe even 2.5, just given how high those grades are. And the other thing that individuals need to pay attention to is that most of the historic drilling in Newman Todd was done from about 0 to 400 meters. The highest grade intercept we've seen at or around Newman Todd, we actually intercepted down about 600 meters. And so we're not just looking at a scenario where you have the potential for an open pit starter pit. We're actually seeing these grades continue at depth, which is nothing short of incredible. As exciting as the holes at Newman Todd are and will continue to be, in my opinion, I believe we've figured out the structure and how to drill Newman Todd. The Confederation Belt and its potential for another Dixie-like discovery or Red Lake discovery, quite frankly, in my opinion, eclipses almost anything that we've done at Newman Todd. People need to understand that we have 100 kilometers of strike on the LP fault, and we have over 100 kilometers of strike on the Red Lake fault. Those are the two dominant structures which have provided almost all of the gold discoveries in Red Lake, and we now control close to 200 plus kilometers of strike on those two combined. And what's even more exciting is we've gone through the historical provincial database and we found core all over the place in areas where we likely would have drilled at least close to where some of this historical drilling occurred. And we're not talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10 holes. We're talking over 100 drilled, diamond drilled holes. The core is in pristine shape. We're finding it through the provincial database. And instead of having to drill these out, we're literally accumulating the core. And we have a technical presentation on our website that you can go to and look at it. We're seeing similarities to the hinge zone at the LP discovery, or sorry, the Dixie discovery. We're seeing similarities to the LP fault continuation. And everybody needs to remember that Dixie really took off when they found a cache of core about 1.5 kilometers away from the original discovery. It was drilled 20, 30 years ago, just like what we're doing. And it extended the Dixie discovery by over 1.5 kilometers. And we have core literally along 100 kilometers of strike that we're now running through the assay lab. There's thousands and thousands of samples. There's going to be news coming, weekly, bi-weekly as a result of that. And some people would wonder, why would you do a small financing down at around these levels? Well, people need to understand I was the single biggest investor. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm associated with all of the investors, but it's because of the level of excitement in the core we're seeing along these structures on our property in the Confederation Belt. And I'll steal the thunder from one of our consultants who's literally a Red Lake legend, Tim Toomey, and he basically said to me, he's like, Russ, I'm so excited. We may already have another Dixie or Red Lake discovery. We just don't know it, and that's what is so compelling and exciting about the Confederation property and what we're doing with it right now.